So, Manchester United 4, Wolves 1. Now, I'm not going to lie. Listen, guys, it got a bit nervy.
It did.
1-1 at half-time. I was ready. Listen, guys, I told you lot. If Manchester United lost today, I'm retiring. I would have retired. So I live to see another day. Of course, I'm joined with the familiar face, Harry Pinero, man. If you guys didn't see, we did a watch-along. But yes, we were nervous, we were scared, and there's a few things to talk about. I know it's only Wolves. You guys are probably thinking, well, you know, it's a routine win. We're not here to gas and make it out like it's the greatest win in the world. We're not here to do that, but we are here to speak some truths. You know what I mean? And there was some good performances,
of course,
and there were some bad ones. First and foremost, who would you say is the ones that impressed you today?
I think there's two players. Mason Mount, 100%. I think he was the most fluid player on the pitch for me. I think his passes, his movement, creativity was really good. There were some good passes that I feel like some of the players just didn't receive them well. Bruno, of course, 2 goals and 1 assist. Doing what he's been doing in his Man United career, which is, you know, pulling them goals and assists out of the bag. So I think it's between them two. But if you ask me for my personal favourite, I'd say Mason Mount. I think even though he did score a goal as well, I think even without that, I would have put him up there. He had a bit of class to him today. And I think he's been that for the last few games since he's been starting as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the thing that I liked is because a lot of times when we talk about Mason Mount, people want to talk about his energy and his work rate. But now, today, he was actually showing on-ball quality. 100%. That's what you want to see. He was doing a couple Cruyff turns. He was pinging it across the pitch. Obviously, he got his goal. By the way, the synergy and the connection there with him and Bruno
was good.
Bro, that was brilliant. Like, the run. And for Bruno to execute that, that is what you want from your creative midfielder. And that's why Bruno gets all these assists and racks up these numbers. So I got to give both of them massive credit in that regard as well. I'm really, really, really happy with Aiden Heaven.
100%.
You know, I mean, Aiden Heaven has been out in the cold. And I looked at him. And when I saw Manchester United only going to have 1 game a season, I said, ooh. That might be a loan that he needs, because we don't forget, we have Licha, we have Delete, we have Europe, we have so many players that we have. And when he's not from Carrington, but he's a youth player. Yeah, I'm thinking you're going to be the one that's going to take the L's. And so far he has been that one, but he stepped in twice now. It was unlucky to get substituted in the last game because he got early booking. But this performance today, I thought was cool, composed. And one thing I love about him is his first thought is to pass forward. Every single time he gets the ball, he passes forward. And listen, for an 18-year-old, he's 18. Yeah. You know, he's younger than Euro. Yeah. You know what I mean? For him to come in, step in at the central. You know, usually there's one that plays on the right, centre back or left. He's playing in the centre amongst 2 experienced players aside him. And you need to have a voice. You need to be cool. You need to be commanding to play that position.
And one thing I like about him,
I'm proud of him.
He's not afraid to get into a tackle as well. Yeah. And I think he's shown a lot of maturity as well. And as you said, to be not frozen out, but obviously there's a preference.
It's a hierarchy.
There's a preference. But for him to be game ready, he played well again against West Ham. I don't think he was appalling. Obviously, the booking is the reason why he came off. But today, as you said, one thing that was key was he's passing forward, and we need that. You know, that's what Licha offers for us. And obviously he's coming back now into game fitness. But yeah, I was really, really proud of Aiden Heaven. I think if he was to say 3 players that was stand out, would be them 3 for sure.
Like, I think there's still areas, man. Like, guys, we're not going to sit and act like everything's amazing. We know it's Wolves. They're probably the worst team to ever play in the Premier League. And, you know, they're going down embarrassingly. It's going to be historic, probably, the way they go down, right? But there's still also elements of Manchester United's performance where you can say some parts were good towards the end, but we were leading. But there was also some bad stuff as well. You know what I mean? For them to even go to 1-1, the lack of control that we have, the way the game is always pinballing people. Like, you want someone that's going to get their foot on the ball and tell everybody, relax. Bruno is so cool in the final third. When it's time to get his head up and make that pass, when it's time to, should I shoot or should I cut back? You can rely on Bruno in them moments. And Casemiro, he has had a little resurgence, so you give him some credit for that. But there's still not enough somebody just putting their foot on the ball and calming the rest of the team around them. And look, we have less quality players than Real Madrid, for example. But you even see with Real Madrid, they don't even have a player that can do that. Jude doesn't do it. Tchouaméni doesn't do it enough. Camavinga, Valverde. And you see how much that affects them. So imagine what it will do to Manchester United, who have even lesser quality. So the midfield area, or not only the midfield, even in the wide areas, we need to be more cool with the ball. But it doesn't help when, for example, Mbumo, I still think he doesn't look comfortable playing in the 10. You're passing the ball through the lines to him. He can't get he's not good in between the lines. He's just not. We're going to talk about Cunha in a sec. But that's the thing. Like, it still feels a little bit pinball. Like, the ball is, people are battling. Everything feels like a duel. And I think that's a concern for Man United. But my biggest concern today was Cunha.
Yeah.
My big concern was Cunha. Look,
it was a tough watch.
Today was a game where you thought, going back to Molineux, going back to his old stomping ground where he got the move to Man United, somebody that last season excited everyone. The season before excited everyone. And so far in a Manchester United shirt, it's just not working out. And you can see now anxiety building. He's rushing decisions. He's over carrying the ball. He's sometimes being selfish. There's so many moments and you're seeing in his face, it doesn't look like he's enjoying his football. And we spent a lot of money on him. And we have to be fair. If we're looking at people like Gyökeres, if we're looking at Eze's and Xavi Simons and Wirtz, we have to have the same energy for Cunha. And so far, it's not been good enough.
Yeah.
It has not been good enough from Cunha. And Mbumo, when he's not performing, at least maybe he might get a goal, he might get an assist. Cunha's not offering goals, he's not offering assists, and most importantly for me, he's not offering performances. It's getting concerning for me, bro. This is the prime Premier League proven big money. Like, there should be no excuses as to why Cunha can't get off the ground running. And as I said before, Man United got rid of Rashford, we got rid of Garnacho. But when you step in a Man United shirt, I can't call you an upgrade until I see you do it in a Man United shirt. Yeah. And so far, Cunha has not been an upgrade on Rashford or Garnacho.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one because we obviously know what the quality of Cunha is. And obviously, as you mentioned, he is proven. He had an incredible season at Wolves in order for him to even be a Manchester United player. My issue with Cunha, I have to defend him to some extent.
Yeah.
I don't think that, as you mentioned, the partnership that he has in that front three has been consistent enough for him to understand these players and to also play the best football that he plays. I think what we find when we watch Cunha is he's on the ball quite a lot and he's trying to dribble. That's his way of playing football. And I don't think he can play his way of playing football under this system. It's not fluid enough for him. As we mentioned with Bruno in the final third is incredible, but he's not a 6. So you find that Bruno is sometimes in the positions that Cunha wants to be in. So it seems as if whenever he's got the ball, it's so crowded for him. At Wolves, he had so much space to be able to drive and link up, and he doesn't have that. There isn't a target man for him to play off. And with Mbeumo, as you mentioned, Mbeumo is better when it is maybe 1v1 and he can shift to his left foot, because that's where most of his goals came from when he was at Brentford. So for me, I think, yes, Cunha isn't playing the best way, but we have to always remember who is the current manager of Manchester United.
No, 100%.
And I don't think that Amorim has actually got the best of these players.
Yeah.
You're talking about two of the best players in the Premier League last season, with Mbeumo and Cunha. They haven't played at any of the level that we know. We know them to be top players. So I do believe, yes, Cunha should be doing more. And he did get an assist today, albeit not a scruffy one. But if this is the type of win that he can actually look at and be like, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't the reason why Manchester United won this game today. He himself, and as you mentioned, bro, you see the way he looks. Like, he looks upset. When there's not a smile on his face like he had before anyway. And that's my take on the whole Cunha situation.
Is there an element, though? Is there an element for Cunha where it could be big fish in a small pond when he was at Wolves? Is there an element where... Because when I look at Mbeumo, he gives me... And again, he hasn't been amazing, but he gives me the vibes of... I said it when they signed a plug-and-play player. I can put Mbeumo into City right now. I can put Mbeumo into Liverpool. And just think he'll find a way to play in that team. I think Cunha, you kind of got to cater to him a little bit. The way he plays the game, I think you kind of got to... as you said, you got to find a system for him. You know what I mean? More so than in Mbeumo.
But we knew that when we signed him, though. It wasn't like we need Cunha. It wasn't... I don't think that's the player that we needed. I think... When you look at Cunha, it's the talent that he has is obviously good to have in a Man United team that has just lost Rashford, just lost Sancho, just lost Garnacho, and also Anthony. So we needed firepower in the attacking sense, right? But then I'm looking at Mason Mount, right?
Mason Mount is a big problem for Cunha right now, bro.
We mentioned that on the live stream. That I think when you look at Mason Mount, what he is offering, even if he's not dribbling, it's that final pass. It's creating space for himself to then allow someone else who's further forward to use the ball. Whereas Cunha holds the ball too much. And then that causes him to lose the ball, and then you've lost the momentum again. Then he's chasing the game. So I do believe that Cunha is the type of player you need to cater things to, but he has that quality that is worth doing it. I just think that right now in this current system and the way we're playing, it's just not. It's just those two things ain't marrying well.
Yeah, and I think you touched on a good point. Honestly, I think Mason Mount right now is a huge problem for Cunha, because start of the season, Mason Mount, we know, injury prone, all that type of stuff. People are really thinking, Cunha, that's it for Mason Mount. We'll probably look to sell him in the summer. Mason Mount has been, let's have it right, he has outperformed Cunha thus far this season. And for Cunha now, in a fully strengthened Man United team, if you're talking about performers, Cunha doesn't make the team. Cunha started today because we didn't have a striker. And he can play where he was coming off, he can play wherever he wants. But if Xerxes or if Sesko's fit,
he's not starting.
He's not starting at this current point. And that's a big concern considering how much we spent for him. It's a similar, as I said, like with like Gyökeres. Sometimes people are going there and saying maybe Marino is the better 9 right now. And it's a problem for like a Gyökeres, for example. But anyway, I don't want to get into anything Arsenal related. So guys, that's just a quick one, man. Man United 4, Wolves 1, routine win. Listen, we're not going to jump up and down and act like it's the greatest win ever. You know what I mean? But you and I.
Well, say TD, I say United are the team for me. Can we get a little knick-knack? Say give a dog a bone. Go on, City.
Back off home. Thank you very much, guys. Like, share, subscribe, turn notifications on. We out. Peace.